Hi everyone. So in this video series, we'll be discussing CAT 2018 slot 1 quant section. And my feedback would be that the questions were majorly moderate to difficult in nature. I could find very few sitter questions there in the exam. So let's start solving. All right, guys, this is your first question from CAT 2018, the first lot. Please pause the video and try it out, and you can resume for the solution. Guys, the situation is as shown in the figure here. We have a circle with center O and the radius is 1 centimeters. An arc AB, this is our arc AB. The arc AB makes an angle of 60 degrees at the center of the circle. Let R be the region bounded by radii OA, OB and the arc AB. So R is basically this sector, the sector OAB. All right. If C and D are 2 points on OA and OB respectively, this is the point C on the line OA, and this is the point D on the line OB, such that OC is equal to OD, and the area of triangle OCD, this triangle OCD, the area of this triangle is half that of the sector OAB. Then the length of OC is this line segment. We have to find the length of this OC. All right, guys. So the first thing to observe is in triangle OAB, OA and OB are the radii of the same circle, right? So triangle OAB is an isosceles triangle. But we have learned in our course also that whenever we have an isosceles triangle and exactly one angle is 60 degrees, we can conclude that the other two angles will also be 60 degrees, right? Because the base angles are equal and sum of all the angles is 180. So triangle OAB is not only an isosceles, but it's an equilateral triangle. Now the question says that OC is also equal to OD. So triangle OCD will also be an isosceles triangle by the same reasoning. And in that, the angle COD is worth 60 degrees. So the other two angles will also be 60 degrees. That means triangle OCD is also an equilateral triangle. So that is the first breakthrough we need in the question. Triangle OCD is an equilateral triangle, right? The sides OC, OD, and CD will all be equal. You can assume all of them as X. So area of triangle OCD is the area of any equilateral triangle, root 3 upon 4 into side square. And the question says this area is half the area of the sector OAB. Now, area of sector OAB will be theta, the central angle, 60 degrees, upon 360 into pi r square. R here is 1, so 1 square. Now we can solve this further. We will cancel out 60 ones are and 66 are. Again, we can cancel 2 ones are and 2 twos are. 2 ones are and 2 threes are. We are going to get x square is equal to pi upon 3 as it is. Bring the root 3 downwards here. So this will be pi by 3 root 3. So x will simply be equal to square root of pi by 3 root 3. And that is nothing but pi by 3 root 3 raised to the power 1 by 2. This is very clearly our D option. And the answer to our question, x or the length of OC is pi by 3 root 3 raised to half. A trader sells 10 liters of a mixture of paints A and B, where the amount of B in the mixture does not exceed that of A. Does not exceed, right? Meaning the content of the mixture B is equal to or less than the content of mixture A. So quantity of the mixture B is either less than or equal to the quantity of the mixture A. And the total quantity is 10 liters. So quantity of A plus the quantity of B should be 10 liters. The cost of paint A per liter is rupees 8 more than that of paint B. So if paint B is rupees X per liter, okay, then A will be 8 rupees more. So A will be rupees X plus 8 per liter. Lastly, if the trader sells the entire mixture for 264 and makes a profit of 10%, then the highest possible cost of paint B in rupees per liter is. All right, so a lot of unknowns there in this particular question. So I think the best way will be to go with the options anyway. So the selling price of the mixture is rupees 264 and there is a profit of 10% being made, right? So profit of 10% being made, from this we can back calculate the cost. Let the cost price be equal to A and 10% profit means 1.1 times. So this is 264. From here, I can back calculate the cost price. The overall cost price of the mixture is 264 divided by 1.1. So the cost price for the entire mixture is rupees 240, but the mixture is worth 10 liters. So from here, I can find the cost price per liter. That will be 240 divided by 10 or rupees 24. So the cost price per liter is rupees 24. So now, as we've discussed, we have to use the options henceforth. You want the highest possible cost of paint B. As per the options, the highest possible cost is 26. So this will be 26 here. And then the price of mixture A per liter will be 8 more. It will be 34. Well, this is impossible. If first mixture is 26 and second mixture is 34 rupees per liter, their average price, their final price will lie between 26 and 34. So option D is not possible. Let us check for the next higher option, that is C option. It says the price of mixture B is rupees 22. Well, if that is the case, then price of mixture A per liter will be 22 plus 8, 30 rupees per liter. Using our rule of allegations, we can get the ratio of the two mixtures getting combined. 30 minus 24 would be 6 and 24 minus 22 would be 2. This ratio is 2 is to 6 or 1 is to 3. That means if you take total 10 liters of the mixture, out of the 10 liters, 1/4 will be the mixture A and 3/4 is the mixture B. 3/4 of 10 is 7.5. 1/4 of 10 is 2.5 here. The quantity of B is greater than A, but we already know from the question that the quantity of B is less than or equal to A. So option C is also not possible. That brings me to the next higher value of the price of mixture B, and that is A option, which says 20 rupees per liter. In that case, the price of mixture A will be 20 plus 8, 28 rupees per liter. Once again, by the rule of allegations, 28 minus 24 is 4. 24 minus 20 is 4. The ratio is 4 is to 4 or 1 is to 1. So out of the 10 liters mixtures, half the mixture or 5 liters is A. The other 5 liters is B. Yes, that's possible, right? The content of B can be less than or equal to A. So 5 liters and 5 liters is acceptable. And that's why the answer has to be option A. To cross check, let's confirm with the last option remaining. The last option remaining says the price of mixture B is 16 rupees per liter. So A will be 16 plus 8, 24. And the average required is also 24. Well, this is also not possible. If the individual rates are 16 rupees per liter and 24 rupees per liter, the average should lie between this range. It can't be equal to one of these two, right? So the ultimate option remaining is option A only, the answer to your question. Highest possible cost of B in rupees per liter is rupees 20. All right, so the distance from A to B is 60 kilometers. Parth and Narayan start from A at the same time and move towards B. Parth take 4 hours more than Narayan to reach B. So time taken by Parth is time taken by Narayan plus 4. Moreover, Parth reaches the midpoint of A and B 2 hours before Narayan reaches B. The speed of Parth in kilometers per hour. Now, I have already written here the time taken by Parth is 4 hours more than Narayan. Also, Parth reaches the midpoint of A and B. Midpoint is somewhere here. 2 hours before Narayan reaches B. So, the time taken by Parth to reach the midpoint, I call this as TP by 2, is time taken by Narayan minus 2 hours. Now, what if I subtract these two equations? We have the time taken by Parth for the entire journey and time taken by Parth for half the journey. The difference of these two is actually the time taken by Parth for the second half of the journey. Basically, from this point C to the point B. This time will be time taken by Narayan gets cancelled out. 4 minus minus 2 will be 6 hours. So that means for this part of journey, Parth will basically take 6 hours. And this part of journey is from the midpoint of A to B to the point B. This is basically 30 kilometers, right? So Parth covers 30 kilometers in 6 hours. His speed will be 30 by 6. That is 5 kilometers per hour. And that is basically my D option, right? Very simple question. That's how we solve this. All right, guys. If f of x plus 2 is f of x plus f of x plus 1 for all positive integers x, f11 is 91, f15 is 617, then f10 equals what? So if I treat f of 1, f of 2, f of 3, f of 4, etc.
up to f of n plus 1, f of n plus 2. The question says that any number, okay, any number is the sum of the two previous terms. Naturally, it can't be f of 1 and f of 2 for that matter, right? So f of 3 is actually f of 1 plus f of 2, or f of 4 will be actually f of 2 plus f of 3. Likewise, you can see f of n plus 2 will be f of n plus f of n plus 1. This series where every term is sum of the previous two terms is also called as the Fibonacci series. So in the Fibonacci series, every term is basically sum of its two preceding terms. Okay, now we have been given f of 11 is 91. Just write f of 11 here as 91. Let me suppose f of 12 is equal to x. By our definition, f of 13 will be x plus 91, right? The given term will be sum of the two previous terms. Similarly, I could figure out f of 14 also. F of 14 will be sum of these two terms, x plus 91 plus x, 2x plus 91. And by the same logic, we can figure out f of 15 also. F of 15 will be sum of these two numbers, the two previous terms. 2x and x will be 3x plus 91, and 91 is 182. So f of 15 is 3x plus 182. In the question, we have been given this value as 617. So now we can solve for x. So I can write 3x is equal to 617 minus 182 will be 435. So x will be 3 ones are 3, 3 fours are 12, and 3 fives are 15. And hence we have found the value of f of 12 here as 145. And also this f of 12 will be f of 10 plus 91. So 145 will be f of 10 plus 91. From here, I can easily figure out the value of f of 10. F of 10 will be 145 minus 91. It will simply be equal to 54. So the answer to my question, f of 10 will be 54.
All right, so we have two types of tea, A and B. They are mixed and sold at rupees 40 per kg. The profit is 10% if A and B are mixed in the ratio 3:2 and 5% if the ratio is 2:3. The cost prices per kg of A and B are in the ratio. Okay. So let the cost prices of A and B be small a and small b rupees per kg respectively. The mixture is sold at 40 rupees per kg. Now, we have two cases here. Case 1 is when A and B are mixed in the ratio 3:2. If I take A and B in the ratio 3:2, the cost price for the entire mixture will be 3 into A plus 2 into B divided by 3 plus 2, right? And there is 10% profit, right? That means the selling price will be this multiplied by 1.1. And this selling price per kg we know is rupees 40 per kg, right? Similarly, in our second case, A and B are going to be mixed in the ratio 2:3. So 2:3. In that case, the cost price for the entire mixture is 2 into A, 2A plus 3 into B will be 3B divided by 2 plus 3. This many rupees per kg. And here we have a 5% profit. So this cost price into 1.05 is our selling price of rupees 40. The next step is I simply divide these two equations and my job is done. So on dividing these two, 40 and 40 will get cancelled out. 3 plus 2, 5 and 3 plus 2, 5 also gets cancelled out. We get 3A plus 2B into 1.1 divided by 2A plus 3B into 1.05 is equal to 1. So you can cross multiply also. You can take these two terms on the right hand side above. So 1.1 into 3A will be 3.3A plus 2 into 1.1 is 2.2B is equal to 1.05 into 2 will be 2.1A plus 1.05 into 3 is 3.15B. So take the like terms together, this on the left hand side, this on the right hand side, 1.2A is equal to 3.15 minus 2.2 will be 0.95B. Or I get my answer, A by B is 0.95 divided by 1.2. That's 95 upon 120.
or you can cancel out 5. It will be 19 by 24. Very clearly my B option. I'm yet to find a better way out though. If you come across a better method, do let me know into the comments or the chat. But I think for right now, for time being, please consider this as the solution. The answer is the B option. Okay, guys, when they work alone, B needs 25% more time to finish a job that A does. The two finish the job in 13 days in the following manner. A works alone till half the job is done. So A is working alone till 50% job is done. Then A and B work together for 4 days. And finally, B works alone to complete the remaining 5% of the job. In how many days can B alone finish the entire job? Okay, simple question, straightforward question. It is given that B needs 25% more time to finish the job than A does. So if I suppose take the time of A as 4 days, the time taken by B will be 25% higher. 25% is basically 1/4. So 1/4 of 4 is 1 extra. So B will take 5 days. That was the whole purpose of assuming the days of A as 4 to calculate 25% very easily, right? So the time taken in maybe days by A and B to complete the work is 4:5 for the same piece of work. So the ratio of their efficiencies will be inverse, meaning it will be 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5, or the ratio of their efficiencies will be 5 is to 4. Okay, so for A and B, the ratio in which they complete daily work or the ratio of the work done daily is 5 is to 4, their efficiencies. Okay guys, so the work is done in the following manner. First, A works alone and completes 50% of the job. After that, A and B work together for how long? For 4 days. And later, B completes the remaining 5% of the work alone. Yeah, B works alone to complete the remaining 5% of the job, right? So A alone completes 50%, B alone completes 5%, 50 and 5 is 55%. Now we can observe that out of 100% of the work, 55% is completed when A and B work alone. So 100 minus 55, 45% of the work will be completed when A and B work for 4 days, right? Okay, so A and B work for 4 days and complete 45% of the work. Now, the efficiencies of A and B we have found are 5 and 4. 5 plus 4 is 9 units per day. So when A and B work together, they complete 9 units daily. And like that, they are working for 4 days. The total work they have done is 9 into 4, 36 units. And this 36 units is actually 45% of the work. From here, I can find out how much will be 100% of the work, right? This cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you will get the total amount of work 36 into 100 divided by 45. So this will be 9 fours are 36, 9 fives are 45. 400 upon 5 is 80. So 80 units of work is your entire work. B alone will be required to complete 80 units of work, and the efficiency of B is 4 units per day. So time taken will be this work done 80 upon the efficiency 4. 80 upon 4, time that B will take is 20 days. Very clearly it is our C option. Okay, so pretty straightforward question. That's how we solve this. The answer is option 4, 20 days. Okay, so a CAT aspirant appears for certain number of tests. His average score increases by 1 if the first 10 tests are not considered, and decreases by 1 if the last 10 tests are not considered. If his average scores for the first 10 and the last 10 tests are 20 and 30 respectively. First 10 tests, the average was 20, and the last 10 tests, the average was 30. Then the total number of tests taken by him is. So this was one of the two questions which were based on averages in the same slot. You can check out the description where I have given the link for the next question also. Okay, so first 10 and last 10. Let us suppose that in the middle there were n number of tests taken and the average score in those n number of tests was x, right? Now let us suppose the overall average score in all those n tests was equal to a. So as per the question, if the first 10 tests are not considered, the average score increases by 1. That means for the middle n and the last 10 tests,
the average is 1 more than A, or it is A plus 1. Let us write an equation for this using the weighted average concept. For middle n tests, the average is x, and for the last 10 tests, the average is 30. The weighted average will be n into x plus 30 into 10 divided by n plus 10 is 1 more than the average A, and that is A plus 1 we have seen, right? And similarly, when the last 10 tests are not considered, the average score of the first 10 and the middle n combined is decreasing by 1. So it is 1 less than A, or the average score of these tests is A minus 1. Once again, using the concept of weighted average, we can write n into x plus 20 into 10 divided by n plus 10 will be equal to A minus 1. Right? The next part is we have to simplify these two equations and we have to figure out the value of n from this. Right? So the first equation I can modify the left hand side as nx upon n plus 10 plus 30 into 10 becomes 300 divided by n plus 10 is equal to A plus 1, right? Similarly, for the second equation, I can split the denominator on the left hand side. Nx upon n plus 10 plus 20 into 10 is 200 divided by n plus 10 will be equal to A minus 1. And in the next step, guys, we simply subtract these two equations. Okay, when I subtract these two equations, nx upon n plus 10 minus nx upon n plus 10 becomes cancelled or 0. A plus 1 minus A minus 1. So A and minus A will get cancelled. On the right hand side, 1 minus minus 1 will simply become 2. So on the right hand side, I simply have a 2 remaining. Again, on the left hand side, 300 upon n plus 10 minus 200 upon n plus 10. These two terms have the common denominator n plus 10. So the numerators get subtracted. 300 minus 200 is 100, right? So cross multiplying and cancelling out 2 from both sides, that gives me n plus 10 is equal to 50. But the question says the total number of tests taken by him is. So first 10 tests in the starting, last 10 tests in the end, and in the middle there are n number of tests. When you add all these three, you get n plus 20. So I need to figure out the value of n plus 20. I already know n plus 10 is 50. I just need to add 10 to both sides. Just add 10 to both sides. I'm going to land up with n plus 20 on the left hand side, and the right hand side is 50 plus 10 or 60. That is the answer to my question. The total number of tests the person takes is 60. So that is one method of answering the question here, guys. There is a very quick method of answering the question here, which I have discussed in my course. You can check out the description if you want to understand this shortcut and all other shortcuts in great detail. Alright, so a wholesaler bought walnuts and peanuts, the price of walnut per kg being thrice that of peanut per kg. He then sold 8 kg of peanuts at a profit of 10% and 16 kg of walnuts at a profit of 20% to a shopkeeper. However, the shopkeeper lost 5 kgs of walnuts and 3 kg of peanuts in transit. He then mixed the remaining nuts and sold the mixture at rupees 166 per kg, thus making an overall profit of 25%. At what price in rupees per kg did the wholesaler buy the walnuts? Right, so it's a pretty straightforward question. We have to find the cost price and selling price overall, and that should do the job. Okay, so let's start. The wholesaler bought walnuts and peanuts, the price of walnut per kg being thrice that of peanut per kg. So for the shopkeeper, let's understand the cost. Walnuts and peanuts. Let us suppose that the cost for peanuts is x rupees per kg. For walnuts, it will be thrice or 3x per kg. The shopkeeper sells 8 kg of peanuts. Okay, so 8 kgs of peanuts are sold and there is 10% profit. Further, 16 kgs of walnuts are sold and there is 20% profit. So we can now find out the selling price for the shopkeeper, right? The cost price for walnuts is 3x and there is a profit of 20% in selling it. So 20% of 3x will be 0.6x, meaning the cost is growing by 0.6x, or the selling price per kg for the wholesaler will be 3.6
X. Similarly, for the peanuts, the profit is 10%. The cost being X, 10% of X will be 0.1X. So the price will increase by 0.1X or selling price is 1.1X. Okay, there's a quick shortcut for this as well. Whenever a number increases by 20%, it gets multiplied by 1.2. Similarly, when a number increases by 10%, it gets multiplied by 1.1. So instantly you'll get the selling price for the wholesaler. 3 into 1.2 is 3.6, x into 1.1 is 1.1x, right? And like this, he sells 16 kg of walnuts and then 8 kgs of peanuts. So selling price per kg of walnut gets multiplied by 16 and the selling price per kg of peanuts gets multiplied by 8. We get the selling price, overall selling price of walnuts and peanuts. Walnuts, the overall selling price will be 3.6x into 16. That will be 16, 696, 48 and 950, 7.6x. And for peanuts, the overall selling price is 1.1 into 8, 8.8x. So total selling price for the wholesaler is the sum of these two numbers. Zero point 0.6 and zero point 0.8 is 0.4x. Then 1 carry will be 6. And then 1 carry, 1 plus 5 is 6. So 66.4x. This is the overall selling price for the wholesaler. The wholesaler sells these goods to the shopkeeper. So what is the selling price for the wholesaler becomes the cost price for the shopkeeper, right? So for shopkeeper, the cost price, the overall cost price is 66.4x rupees. In that, he has purchased 16 kgs of walnuts and 8 kgs of peanuts, right? Overall CP we have found and we know these two quantities. Now, while selling, he lost 5 kg of walnuts. So 16 minus 5 is 11 kg of walnuts remain and 3 kg of peanuts minus 3 is basically 5 kgs of peanuts remain. And then he mixed the remaining nuts. Okay, he mixed the remaining nuts. So he has a total mixture of 11 kgs plus 5 kgs, which will be 16 kgs. This 16 kg mixture is then sold at rupees 166 per kg, thus making an overall profit of 25%. So we have to find the selling price of this 16 kg mixture. It is being sold at rupees 166 per kg, and like that we are selling 16 kgs. This is going to be the overall selling price. So now we have the selling price. You can write the equation: selling price minus cost price upon the cost price into 100 is the profit percentage. Okay, that way you can get the profit percent. So now the profit is 25% as per the question. So selling price 166 into 16 minus the cost price 66.4x upon the cost price 66.4x, the whole thing into 100 should be 25%, right? On solving, we'll be able to get the value of x from here. So we'll just cross multiply on both sides. 66.4 into 25 divided by 100. Okay, this entire thing will be 16.6x. So 166 into 16 minus 66.4x is 16.6x. Get 66.4x on the right hand side. You get 166 into 16 is equal to 83x. 83 ones are and twos are cancel. You get x as 32. Finally, you get x as 32. But that's what not we are looking for. We are looking forward to the price at which the wholesaler bought the walnuts. The value of x that we have found is basically the buying price for the peanuts, that is 32. So the buying price of walnuts will be thrice 3 into 32 or 96. And that is my C option, 96 rupees. Okay, that's how you solve this question, pretty straightforward. So many people also use options here in an elimination. The price of walnut per kg is thrice the price per kg of peanuts. So the answer should be a multiple of 3, 86 and 98 ruled out, and then they take one of these and solve to get the answer. But we don't know for sure that the cost prices or selling prices are integers only, right? So the answer could have been in fractions as well. Like the cost prices could have been in fractions as well. So here this approach is not logically correct. Luckily, it may fall in place. It may be correct because the values are matching in the end. You get integers in the end. So that's sheer luck in this case, but that's not the logical way out. Okay, the answer is, and the correct approach is the most methodical way out that we've discussed here, finding out the overall cost price, overall selling price, and that's how we get the answer. Option C, 96 rupees per kg. All right, so given an equilateral triangle with side 24 centimeters, a second triangle T2 is formed by joining the midpoints of the sides of T1. Then a third triangle T3 is formed by joining the midpoints of sides of T2. If this process of forming triangles is continued, the sum of the areas in square centimeters of infinitely many such triangles T1, T2, T3, so on and so forth will be. So let's consider the big triangle T1 in this case. This is my big triangle T1 as you can see right now. In this triangle, guys, the side has been given as 24 and we note that this is an equilateral triangle and the area of an equilateral triangle is always root 3 upon 4 into side square. So for this triangle, the area is root 3 upon 4 into 24 square. And now we join the midpoints of the sides of this big triangle and we create another triangle T2. Okay, and this is your triangle T2. I'm shading it in blue. You can see it very clearly, guys. This is your equilateral triangle. So this is your triangle T2 as you can see in blue. Now this concept we have seen in our course also, guys. Whenever we join the sides of a triangle, we divide the triangle into 4 smaller triangles all having the same area. So area of the triangle T2 is 1/4 the area of the big triangle T1. Now, joining the midpoints of the sides of T2, we construct another triangle T3. You can see it in black. For the triangle T3, we have formed it by joining the midpoints of T2. So, the area of the triangle T3 is 1/4 the area of the triangle T2, right? But area of T2 we have already seen previously. It is 1/4 the area of T1. So, here I can substitute 1/4 area of T1. So, area of T3 becomes 1/4 into 1/4 the area of T1. This becomes 1/4 square of the area of triangle T1. Same way, guys, if I join the midpoints of this triangle T3 and construct one more triangle T4, the area of the triangle T4 will be 1/4 the area of triangle T3, meaning 1/4 of this number. So it will be 1/4 of 1/4 square, meaning 1/4 cube into area of T1. And this will keep on now happening infinitely, isn't it, guys? And now we want the sum of the areas of all these triangles. It is area of T1 plus the area of T2 plus the area of T3 plus the area of T4, so on and so forth infinitely. Let area of T1 be as it is, guys. Area of triangle T2 we have seen is 1/4 the area of triangle T1. Similarly, area of triangle T3 is 1/4 square or 1/16th of the area of triangle T1 plus area of triangle T4 is 1/4 cube or 1/64th of the area of triangle T1, which is going on infinitely. You can notice that this sequence is an infinite geometric progression, guys. Infinite GP, where the first term of the GP is area of triangle T1 and the common ratio is 1/4. So sum of all these terms is A upon 1 minus R or area of triangle T1 upon 1 minus 1/4. This is area of triangle T1 upon 3/4 or 4/3 times area of triangle T1. That's it. And area of triangle T1 I have found already, root 3 upon 4 into 24 square. So the final answer here is 4/3 times area of triangle T1 is this value. So 4/3 times root 3 upon 4 into 24 square. So 4 and 4 will get cancelled out. This will be 576 upon 3, 192. Root 3. And this is very clearly A option. Very simple question. We simply use the concept of an infinite GP here. Once we see that the triangles are forming an infinite GP, we use A upon 1 minus R. And that's how we do this question. The answer is option A, 192 root 3. All right, while multiplying three real numbers, Ashok took one number as 73 instead of 37. As the result, the product went up by 720. Then the minimum possible value of sum of the squares of the other two numbers is. So guys, there are three real numbers. Real numbers means they can be positive, negative, rational, irrational, any of them, right? Ashok took one of the numbers as 73 instead of 37. That means he was supposed to take 37, but he took 73. So out of these three real numbers, one number is 37. Let the other two numbers be x and y. right? So 37 x and y, these were the three numbers he was supposed to multiply, and the product would have been 37 xy. But the mistake he's making is he's taking 37 as 73. So the other two numbers are x and y. The product he's calculating is 73xy. And as a result, the product went up by 720. So 73xy minus 37xy will be equal to 720. This gives me 36 into xy is 720. Dividing both sides by 36, x into y is 20. They're asking me the minimum possible value of sum of the squares of the other two numbers. Other two numbers, I have assumed them as x and y. Here afterwards, I have two ways to approach the given question. The sum of the squares of x and y will be x square plus y square. The question demands the minimum value of x square plus y square. Now guys, notice that I don't know anything about x and y. They're only mentioned as real numbers. So they can be positive, negative, rational, irrational, anything. But if I talk about x square will definitely be a positive real number, right? Because perfect squares are always non-negative. And since Raj is multiplying, and since Ashok is multiplying and getting something non-zero, x is also non-zero number. So x square is positive for sure. And same for y square. X square and y square are both positive, right? For two positive numbers, x square and y square, the arithmetic mean or AM, arithmetic mean, x square plus y square upon 2 is the arithmetic mean of x square and y square. The AM will be greater than or equal to the geometric mean, that is GM. For two numbers, geometric mean is square root of their product. The product of x square and y square, we take the square root, we get geometric mean. Now next step, I already know the value of x into y. So from here I can get x square y square. X square y square is 20 ka square 400, and that I'll substitute here. So I will get x square plus y square divided by 2 will be greater than equal to root of 400. Okay, root of 400 is actually 20. Multiply by 2 on both sides, you get x square plus y square is greater than equal to 2 into 20, and that is 40. That's the answer to my question. The minimum value of sum of the squares of the other two numbers is nothing but 40. So that's one way of getting the answer, guys. There is one more way out based on common sense or some observation here. Pay attention that if I give you x into y as 25, and ask you to observe the sum of x plus y. Guys, you will note that when I put x as 1 and y is 25, the sum of x and y is 1 plus 25, that is 26. Same way, if I take x as 5 and y as 5, now 5 plus 5, the value of x plus y is 10. You can take many other values to do this, to verify this, basically. But just one thing, whenever the product of two numbers is constant, their sum is minimum when they are equal to each other. When they are equal to each other, right? So product being constant, if I have to minimize the sum, I have to keep the numbers equal or as close as possible. So given that x square y square is 400, if I ask you what is the minimum value of x square plus y square, that will happen when these two numbers will both be equal, and that will be 20 each. So minimum value of x square plus y square is 20 plus 20, which is equal to 40. And that's the answer to your question, 40. All right, guys. So we have an equation. The left-hand side is suppose A and the right-hand side is suppose B. Now, guys, if A and B are equal, their powers will be same, right? And log means power. That means if I take log on both sides to some base x, log of a to the base x will be equal to log of b to the base x, right? Similarly, if 2 raised to x is equal to 3 raised to log of 2 to the base 5, let us take log on both sides. The first term on the left hand side will become log of 2 raised to x, and on the right hand side you will have log of 3 raised to log 2 to the base 5. Now we can select any base for the log here. I'm selecting the base 5. You will get to know very, very soon why I'm doing this. When I equate these two now, notice that this is log of 2 raised to x to the base 5. By the laws of logarithm, x will come outside in the numerator. So this part will simply become x into log 2 to the base 5 is equal to, on the right hand side, we have log of 3 raised to something to the base 5. So this power will come outside in the numerator. you will have log of 2 to the base 5 into what remains is log of 3 to the base 5. And now, if you see it, when you see it, log of 2 to the base 5 will get cancelled out from both sides. I directly get the answer x will be equal to log 3 to the base 5. Now, we can observe that none of the option directly matches with this. But if you want, now you can eliminate the options. Like the first option says log of 9 to the base 5. 9 can be written as 3 square. And again, the 2 will come outside in the numerator. So this part is actually 2 log 3 to the base 5, which is not what we want. Let's look at the B option, guys. B option is 1 plus log 3 by 5 to the base 5. If I simplify the B option, I will get 1 plus log of 3 to the base 5 minus log 5 to the base 5. This is our laws of logarithm, right? Log of x upon y is log x minus log y. Now, log 5 to the base 5 will be 1, minus 1 and 1 will get cancelled out. Finally, I get log of 3 to the base 5 only. So yes, this is my answer, option B. Okay, okay. Now, this is one way of solving the question, guys. There is an amazing shortcut to this question which I've discussed in my course. You can check out the link in the description for the same.
All right, so let's look at the first method to solve the question. We have been given P as log of 81 to the base 12. Now this we can simplify as log of 3 raised to 4 and the base is 12. The 4 will come outside. P will be 4 times log of 3 to the base 12. And now we want the value of the expression thrice of 4 minus P upon 4 plus P. Okay. So in that we can substitute the value of P directly. Thrice of 4 minus P is 4 times log 3 to the base 12 upon 4 plus P will be 4 plus 4 times log of 3 to the base 12. So 4 will get cancelled out everywhere. I will get thrice of 1 minus log 3 to the base 12 upon 1 plus log of 3 to the base 12, right? And now guys, we'll use the property that log of x to the base y is always 1 upon log of y to the base x. So using this property, wherever we have log of 3 to the base 12, we will simply replace it by 1 upon log of 12 to the base 3. The expression now becomes 3 into 1 minus 1 upon log of 12 to the base 3 divided by, below we will have 1 plus 1 upon log of 12 to the base 3. Now this we can cross multiply above and below and we'll get thrice of log 12 to the base 3 minus 1 upon log 12 to the base 3, and below we will have log of 12 to the base 3 plus 1. Log 12 to the base 3 here also will get cancelled out above and below. Okay. So this is what I'm left with. This one and this one, let's write them as log of 3 to the base 3. So the numerator will be thrice of log 12 to the base 3 minus log 3 divided by, the denominator will be log of 12 to the base 3 plus log of 3 to the base 3. Now this part is log a minus log b. This will happen when we have log of a upon b. So the numerator is log of 12 upon 3 to the base 3. And in the denominator, we have log of a plus log b. That happens when the numbers a and b are multiplied. So 12 and 3 get multiplied, the base will be 3. So the expression now becomes thrice of log 4 to the base 3 divided by log of 36 to the base 3. Now, we have the common base 3 here. So finally, I can write this as 3 into log of 4 to the base 36 is equal to, I can write log of 4 to the base 36 and 3 here. The 3 can be taken here above. So this is log of 4 cubed to the base 36, or this is log of 64 to the base 36. 64 is 8 square and 36 is 6 square, and we have log. So 2 comes in the numerator and 2 in the denominator. 2 upon 2 into log of 8 to the base 6 is my final answer. That is log of 8 to the base 6. Very clearly, this is my B option. So that is one method of answering the question here, guys. There is a very quick method of answering the question here, which I've discussed in my course. You can check out the description if you want to understand this shortcut and all other shortcuts in great detail. A right circular cone of height 12 feet stands on its base
which has diameter 8 feet. The tip of the cone is cut off. The tip of the cone is cut off with a plane which is parallel to the base and 9 feet from the base. Pi is 22 upon 7. The volume in cubic feet of the remaining part of the cone is. All right. All right, guys. So first of all, the projection of this cone will look like a triangle like this. Okay. And the triangle will have a height of 12. So this length will be simply 12. It is the altitude for the triangle. And this will be having a length of 12. And base which has diameter 8 feet. If the base has diameter 8 feet, naturally the radius of the cone is half of 8, that is 4 feet, right? The tip of the cone is cut off with a plane which is parallel to the base and 9 feet from the base. So basically we are making a cut like this. Okay, like this. We are making a cut like this. And the height at which we are making the cut is 9 feet from the base. All the measurements in feet, so I'm not writing it explicitly. So that tells us that the height of the smaller cone which is cut off is 12 minus 9, that is 3. Now this concept we have seen already in our course. The volume of the smaller cone upon the volume of the bigger cone. This ratio is cube of the ratio of their heights or the ratio of the radii, right? Here we have the ratio of heights, so that's how we can proceed in. The smaller cone upon the bigger cone, the ratio of their heights is 3 by 12. So the ratio of the volume will be 3 by 12 cube. Well, 3 by 12 is 1/4. 1/4 cube is 1 by 64. So it tells you that this smaller cone upon the bigger cone, the ratio of their volumes is 1:64. So the bigger cone's volume corresponds to 64. Smaller cone's volume corresponds to 1. The difference in here, 64 minus 1 corresponds to 63. It is the volume of the remaining portion that is required, right? So basically, 64 is the volume of the big cone. 63 is the volume that you require. Okay, we can just cross multiply the two. What you are requiring actually is 63 by 64 times the volume of the big cone. The volume of the big cone, we can use the formula for this. 1 by 3. Pi is 22 upon 7. Pi r square. R is 4 square 16 into h for the bigger cone is 12. And that's how we solve this. So 7 into 9 is 63. Further 3 ones are 3. Then 16 fours are 64. And 4 threes are 12. Finally, 3 into 22 into 9 is 6 into 22, 198 cubic feet. That's the answer to my question. The volume of the remaining portion is 198 cubic feet. So the question is, how many numbers with 2 or more digits can be formed with the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, so that in every such number, each digit is used at most once. At most once means the repetition is not allowed basically. Okay, repetition not allowed. And the digits appear in ascending order. All right. So we have to basically make sure that there are three conditions being met. We have to use digits from 1 to 9 such that I make a 2-digit or a maximum of 9-digit number, right? It is saying that 2 or more digits, right? So we can make a 2-digit number, 3-digit number, or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, 9-digit number. And basically, we have to ensure that the digits don't repeat. Okay. Further, the digits appear in the ascending order. Okay. So all these criteria are to be met. So let's understand this with the help of an example. Suppose I want to create a 2-digit number, right? For creating a 2-digit number, I have 9 digits available. I have to select exactly 2. This can be done. This selection can be done in 9C2 ways. Now, suppose I select the digits 8 and 6. All right. Suppose out of the 9 digits available, I select 8 and 6. As per the question, you have to arrange the digits in the ascending order. So if I've selected 8 and 6, the only way in which I can create a number here is when I put 8 in the units place and 6 in the tens place. That ensures that the digits are in the ascending order, right? So when I select 6 and 8 as the digits, there is only one way to arrange them in this given case, right? Similarly, if I select 1 and 3, there is only one way to make a 2-digit number out of them, by placing 1 in the tens place and 3 in the units place, right? So for this particular question, when I make a 2-digit number, I can select 2 digits in 9C2 ways
and every selection will further give me only one possible number, right? So how many two-digit numbers are possible in this case such that the digits are not repeated and are in ascending order? That's simply 9C2. Next, we can extend the same logic to a three-digit number, right? So I have to select three digits out of 9. This can be done in 9C3 ways. Now, whatever digits I select, suppose I select the digits 1, 3, and 5. The only way to arrange them in the ascending order is by putting 1 here, 3 here, and 5 here. So for any selection I make for three digits, they can be arranged in only one way. So all 9C3 selections will have only one way to be arranged in. So how many numbers are possible such that they are with distinct digits 1 to 9 and in the ascending order 9C3 only. And this pattern now continues, guys. If I suppose want to make a 9-digit number, okay, I have to select 9 digits out of 9. That selection can be done in 9C9 ways, and there'll be only one way to arrange them. So 9C9 into 1, 9C9 numbers would be possible. The next step is to realize I can either have a 2-digit number or a 3-digit number or a 4-digit number or a 5-digit number. Likewise, I could have a 9-digit number also. So total numbers possible would be 9C2 plus 9C3 plus 9C4 plus 9C5 up to 9C9. So my final task is to calculate this value 9C2 plus 9C3 plus 9C4 plus 9C5 up to 9C9. Okay, guys, now for this, we use the fact that 9C0 plus 9C1 plus 9C2 plus 9C3 plus 9C4 up to 9C9. This entire thing is nothing but 2 raised to 9. This is something that we have already studied in our binomial theorem chapter. NC0 plus NC1 plus NC2 up to NCn is always 2 raised to n. So I'm just putting n as 9 here. 9C0 plus 9C1 plus 9C2 plus 9C3 up to 9C9 should be equal to 2 power 9. Now, out of this, I do not want 9C0 plus 9C1. I simply need the value of 9C2 plus 9C3 plus 9C4 up to 9C9, right? So our next step is to take these two terms, 9C0 plus 9C1 on the right-hand side. This would give me 9C2 plus 9C3 plus 9C4 plus 9C5 up to 9C9 will be equal to 2 raised to 9 minus 9C0 minus 9C1. And this is exactly what we were solving for, right? This is exactly what you want to find out. So my answer is simply 2 power 9 minus 9C0 is 1 only, minus 9C1 will be 9 only. 2 power 9 is 512, minus 1 minus 9 is minus 10. 512 minus 10, my answer is 502, right? That's the answer to my question, 502. These many numbers are possible using the digits 1 to 9 such that they are used without repetition, and they will have at least 2 and at max 9 digits in the ascending order. 502.
So John borrowed rupees 2,10,000 from a bank at an interest rate of 10% per annum, compounded annually. The loan was repaid in two equal installments, the first after 1 year and the second after another year. The first installment was interest of 1 year plus part of the principal amount, while the second was the rest of the principal amount plus due interest thereon. Then each installment in rupees is. So John is borrowing rupees 2,10,000 and the interest rate is 10% per annum. That means in 1 year the value will grow by 10%. So let us say the principal is 2,10,000 rupees and this principal grows by 10% every year. So at the end of 1 year, this value will be 2,10,000 multiplied by 1.1. Whenever any value is increasing by 10%, it gets multiplied by 1.1, right? Now, the loan was repaid in two equal installments. So we'll assume that the value of each installment was equal to X rupees. So out of 2,10,000 into 1.1, John has paid off rupees X at the end of the first year. So after the first year, this is your new principal, 2,10,000 into 1.1 minus X. In the second year, this will be the principal. If this is the principal, the interest will be 10% on this. That means at the end of second year, this value becomes into 1.1. This entire amount is due at the end of second year, which John pays off by paying rupees X as the second installment. So second installment is nothing but 2,10,000 into 1.1 minus x into 1.1. So now we have an equation and we can further simplify it. Divide 1.1 on both sides. The right hand side will become x upon 1.1. The left hand side will be 2,10,000 or 2.1 lakh into 1.1 minus x. Just add x to both sides. You will get 2.1 lakh into 1.1 is equal to x upon 1.1 plus x. Now this x I can multiply and divide by 1.1. So technically this part becomes 1.1x upon 1.1. To that you are adding 1x upon 1.1. This is equal to 2.1x upon 1.1. So 2.1 lakh into 1.1 is equal to 2.1x upon 1.1. So now we'll multiply both sides by 1.1. Now cancelling out 2.1 from both sides and multiplying 1.1 on both sides, x will be nothing but 1.1 into 1.1 lakhs. So x will be 1.1 square these many lakhs. 1.1 square is 1.21 lakhs. So the answer is each installment is worth 1.21 lakh. Right, so we can also verify the principal was 2,10,000 rupees. In the first year, it will grow by 10%. So it gets multiplied by 1.1. So 1.1 into 2,10,000 would be 11 ones are 11, 11 to 23. 2,31,000 rupees. From this, the installment of 1,21,000 is getting paid. So subtract 1,21,000. And now for the second year, your principal is 2,31,000 minus 1,21,000. This is 1,10,000. This value increases by 10% in the second year. And now the total amount due is 1,21,000 only. This is your second installment. So this is getting paid off. And now amount left is 0. So that was one way of answering the question, very methodical way. But the only challenge is if you have more number of years, this calculation of x becomes slightly complicated because the equation for x becomes very complicated, right? So let's look at a quick shortcut for all such questions. John borrowed 2,10,000 at 10% interest rate and he is paying the loan in two equal annual installments, compounded annually, right? So if you apply the concept of compound interest, guys, the amount will be the principal 2,10,000 into 1.1 the whole raised to 2. Principal is 2,10,000 into rate is 10%. So the amount is 2,10,000 into 1 plus 10 by 100 raised to 2 for 2 years. This is the entire amount due in 2 years, right? Now guys, this entire amount is being paid off in 2 installments. Okay, let's analyze them properly. The first installment is suppose x rupees. The second installment is also x rupees. But in 1 year, this entire first installment would have grown by 10%, right? So any number growing by 10% would become 1.1 times. So the value of the first installment becomes 1.1x in the second year, right? So the direct and indirect contribution by John is 1.1x plus x and this is 2.1x, right? Directly solving this, you get the value of each installment x. 2.1 and 2.1 cancels. I'll get 1 lakh here. 1 lakh into 1.1 square is the value of each installment x. 1.1 square is 1.21 into 1 lakh is 1,21,000. So the value of each installment is rupees 1,21,000. The answer to our question.
Alright, so this is a very typical question that they have been asking in CAT since a very long time. The first time this appeared was I think 2005 or 3, and in the last CAT paper 2024, every slot had one question based on this concept. I have solved all those questions. You can find the link in the description also for the same. So let's start understanding this question. We have u square plus u minus 2v minus 1 the whole square is minus 4v into u plus v. Now before we solve further, guys, it is implicit or understood that u and v are basically real numbers. Okay, if nothing is mentioned about u and v, by default we consider them as real numbers. So now we just add 4v into u plus v on both sides. Okay, we just add 4v into u plus v on both sides. Okay, so on the right hand side you already have minus 4v into u plus v. If you add the same thing, the right hand side becomes completely 0. Your left hand side will now become u square plus 4v
into u plus v plus the remaining term is u minus 2v minus 1 the whole square. This entire term is simply 0. Now, when I open this bracket, guys, it becomes u square plus 4 into u into v plus 4v into v is 4v square plus the second term is as it is u minus 2v minus 1 the whole square is 0. Now this entire thing is actually u square plus 2 into u into 2v plus 2v the whole square, right? This exactly resembles your a square plus 2ab plus b square, and that's the expansion of a plus b the whole square. So this entire expression is nothing but u plus 2v the whole square plus the second part is also u minus 2v minus 1 the whole square, and this is equal to 0. Now this is like saying if I call this as x and if I call this as y, we have x square plus y square is equal to 0. Since u and v are real numbers, u plus 2v that is x, u minus 2v minus 1 that is y, they are also real numbers. The squares of two real numbers is 0. This can only happen when both x and y are both equal to 0. So we can conclusively say that u plus 2v is 0 and u minus 2v minus 1 is also 0. We just add these two equations. We get u plus u is 2u. 2v minus 2v will be cancelled. Minus 1 will be as it is. 0 plus 0 is 0. 2u minus 1 is 0. I have 2u is equal to 1, adding 1 to both sides, or u is simply equal to 1 by 2. This value of u I could substitute in any of these two equations. For simplicity, I am putting it here. I will get 1 by 2 plus 2 into v is equal to 0, or 2v is equal to minus half. That gives me v is equal to minus 1 by 4. So we have figured out u as 1 by 2 and we have figured out v as minus 1 by 4. Let's plug in the values in this given expression. We want to find out u plus 3v. That will be equal to 1 by 2 plus 3 into minus 1 by 4. This is half minus 3/4. Half minus 3/4 is minus a quarter, minus 1 by 4. And this is the answer to our question, the D option. So it's a very typical question. It is also called as algebraic tautology. So as mentioned earlier, I have also solved many other similar questions from CAT 24. You can check out the link in the description for the same. So point P lies between points A and B such that length of BP is thrice that of AP. Right? So we have the points A and B here. Point P is in between the two such that the length of BP is thrice the length of AP. So let's assume the length of AP as x kilometers. The length of BP will be thrice 3x kilometers. Okay. Car 1 starts from A and move towards B. Simultaneously, car 2 starts from B and move towards A. So from the point A, there is a car 1, C1 moving towards B along the right hand side. And from the point B, another car C2 is starting and moving towards the point A. That is, it's moving towards the left. Car 2 reaches P 1 hour after car 1 reaches P. Basically, the time taken by car 1 to reach P, if you add 1 to this, you get the time taken by car 2 to reach the point B. This is what we have been given. Further, if the speed of car 2 is half that of car 1, then the time in minutes taken by car 1 in reaching P from A. Speed of car 2 is half that of car 1. So let's suppose speed of car 1 as 2 kilometers per hour. You can assume it as 2y also, will make no difference as such. The speed of car 2 will be half of this. So it will be 1 kilometers per hour. Okay, then the time in minutes taken by car 1 in reaching P from A is, alright. So the time that car 1 takes to reach from P to A is the distance x kilometers. Distance is x kilometers upon the speed will be 2 kilometers per hour. So 2 kilometers and hours will go above. Kilometers gets cancelled. My answer will be x by 2 hours. Okay, so what I want to simply find out is the value of x by 2, and that x by 2 I will find it in hours I need to convert that into minutes. I'll simply multiply it by 60 to get the final answer. Okay. So let's start solving, guys. We use this given equation. Time taken by car C1 to reach point P is actually x by 2. We have discussed it right now. The distance it covers is x to reach from A to P and its speed is 2. So time taken by car 1 to reach from A to P is x upon 2, these many hours, plus 1 hour is equal to the time that car 2 takes to reach from B to P. The distance it covers in the process is 3x and its speed is simply equal to 1. So time is distance upon speed, 3x kilometers upon 1 kilometer per hour. The time is 3x upon 1 hours. On simplifying this, x by 2 is actually 0.5x. So let's subtract 0.5x from both sides. Left hand side is 1. The right hand side becomes 3x minus 0.5 or 2.5x. Next step, we divide by 2.5 on both sides. This gives me x is equal to 1 upon 2.5. And the last step is I will divide both sides by 2. I will get x by 2 is 1 upon 2.5 into 2 is 1 upon 5. So we have found x by 2 as 1 by 5. Okay, we have seen previously also x by 2 will be the time in hours. But we want the final answer to be in minutes. 60 will get the final answer as 12 minutes, right? That is the final answer to our question, 12 minutes. Car 1 takes 12 minutes to reach from A to P. The answer to our question.
So let ABCD be a rectangle inscribed in a circle of radius 13 centimeters. Which one of the following pairs can represent in centimeters the possible length and breadth of ABCD? Right, so ABCD being a rectangle, we know all these angles are going to be 90 degrees each. Now let's join the diagonal AC in this particular rectangle. You will notice that AC subtends 90-degree angle ABC at the circumference of the circle, right? The line AC subtends a right angle at the circumference of circle. That means AC is the diameter of the circle. The question says the radius of circle is 13. The diameter will be twice of 13 and that is 26. So the length of AC should be 26. Now you can proceed further by using the options or you can use your Pythagorean triplets. If the diameter is 26, it is the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle ABC. So if hypotenuse is 26, the other two sides can be 10 and 24 because this can be your 10, 24, 26 Pythagorean triplet. So the only option that is possible here is the D option because directly 10, 24, 26 is a Pythagorean triplet we should know. So it is the D option. 24 and 10 are the length and breadth of the rectangle. So this is arguably the easiest question in the slot, and I think one of the easiest questions in the history of CAT. The answer is option D, 24 and 10.
So in an examination, the maximum possible score is N, while the pass marks is 45% of N. A candidate obtains 36 marks but falls short of the pass marks by 68%. Which one of the following is then correct? So maximum possible score is N and the pass marks is 45% of N. So the pass marks can be calculated as 45% of N, right? So we can calculate 45% of N. 45% shall be 45 upon 100 of N means multiplied by N, and you can basically keep it as it is for time being. Now, a candidate obtains 36 marks but falls short of the pass marks by 68%. So basically his score is actually the passing marks minus 68% of the passing marks, right? That's what they're trying to say. He falls short of the pass mark by 68%. So he has scored passing marks minus 68% of passing marks. And if I write this further as 100% of the passing marks, 100 minus 68% is 32%. Technically, the person has scored 32% of the pass marks. And this score of the person has been given to us in the question as 36. So 36 is actually 32% of the pass marks. Pass marks we have already figured out, 45 upon 100 into N. I want to find out 32% of this number. So 32% of pass marks is 32 upon 100 into 45 upon 100 into n. This thing is worth 36. Now we can make some cancellations. 9 fours are 36 and 9 fives are 45. Then we have 4 eights are 32. So finally I will get 100 into 100, 10,000 divided by 8 fives are 40 is equal to n, and finally 0 and 0 gone. 1000 upon 4 is simply equal to 250. So the value of n is 250. Now I have to look for an option that basically gives me this answer. Option A says n is less than or equal to 200. Well, that's not correct. Second option says n is between 243 and 252, both inclusive. Well, this seems to be the correct one because n is 250 in our case. C option says n is more than or equal to 253. That's not the case here. N is equal to 250, which is less than 253. The D option says n is between 201 and 242, both inclusive, which is not the case here because 250 is outside this range. So the correct answer to my question is indeed the B option. N is greater than or equal to 243 but less than or equal to 252. So the question says, let x, y and z be three positive real numbers in a geometric progression such that x is less than y, which is less than z. If 5x, 16y and 12z are in arithmetic progression, then the common ratio of the geometric progression is. Right, so very straightforward question. The three numbers x, y and z are three positive real numbers that form a geometric progression, right? So let us suppose that the numbers are ar and a r square, a being the first term and r being the common ratio of the GP. So first term is a, second term is a multiplied by r, and ar into r will give you ar square, right? These are the three terms x, y, z forming a geometric progression. Now given that 5x, 16y and 12z are in an arithmetic progression, 5x will be 5 into a, that is 5a, 16y will be 16 into ar, 16ar, and 12z will be 12 into ar square, 12ar square. If these three numbers are in AP, the middle term is the arithmetic mean of the two extremes. So I can say 16ar is the average of 5a and 12ar square. So divide this by 2. Multiply by 2 on both sides. I get 32ar is equal to 5a plus 12ar square. Let's divide by a throughout. If I divide by a throughout, a gets cancelled. It has to get cancelled because x, that is a, is also a positive real number, non-zero, so we can cancel it out easily. This gives me 32r is 5 plus 12r square. Subtract 32r from both sides. I get 12r square minus 32r plus 5 is equal to 0. Now this is a quadratic equation which can be factorized as 12r square minus 30r minus 2r plus 5 is equal to 0. Between these two I can take a 6r common. I will get 2r minus 5 remaining. Between these two I can just take minus 1 common. 2r minus 5 remaining will be equal to 0. So 2r minus 5 from this bracket, 2r minus 5 common, and what remains is 6r minus 1, it is equal to 0. So either this part is 0 or this part is 0. The first part 2r minus 5 will be 0 when r will be equal to 5 by 2. 6r minus 1 will be 0 when 6r is equal to 1 or r is equal to 1 by 6. So now we have two possible answer options. It's either A or D. But the point is, the question tells us that x is less than y, which is less than z. Here comes the significance of this statement. If x is a positive real number, that means a is also a positive real number. A into 1 by 6 will be the value of y. That means y has become less than a. If you further multiply it by 1 by 6, z will be a into 1 by 6 into 1 by 6. So z will be further lesser than y. So in this case, if the common ratio r is 1 by 6, the terms x, y, z will be in GP. But in that case, x will be the greatest term, which is a. The next term will be a by 6, that will be lesser than x. And the next term will be a by 36, which is further lesser than y. But we don't want this, we want the reverse of this, right? So the common ratio can't be 1 by 6, it is simply equal to 5 by 2. And that is our D option. Okay, the question says the number of integers x such that 0.25 is less than 2 raised to x is less than 200 and 2 raised to x plus 2 is perfectly divisible by either 3 or 4 is. So we have two conditions here. The first condition is 2 raised to x should be greater than 0.25. 0.25 is 1 by 4. So 2 raised to x is greater than 1 by 4 and 2 raised to x is less than 200. And also 2 raised to x plus 2 is perfectly divisible by either 3 or 4. Let's start with the first condition first. 1 by 4 is less than 2 raised to x is less than 200. We can write 1 by 4 as 1 by 2 raised to 2 less than 2 raised to x, which is less than 200. Now x being an integer, I want a power of 2 just less than 200. It will be 128. So 2 raised to x is less than or equal to 128. If you go beyond this, if you write 256, the next power of 2 is 256. It will exceed 200. So the greatest value on the right hand side will be 128 here. Further, 1 upon 2 square is like 2 raised to minus 2. It is less than 2 raised to x, which is less than or equal to 128 is actually 2 raised to the power 7. Now 2 raised to x is greater than 2 raised to minus 2. So x has to be definitely greater than minus 2. And 2 raised to x can be less than or equal to 2 power 7 also. That means x can be less than or equal to 7 as well. So from here I get a range of possible values of x. X is greater than minus 2 but x is less than plus 7. Further, if x is an integer between minus 2 and 7, 7 included, the values that x can take will be minus 1 or 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Further, taking these values of x one by one, we figure out the value of 2 raised to x plus 2 and check whether it is divisible by 3 or 4. When I put x as minus 1, 2 raised to x plus 2 will become 2 raised to minus 1 plus 2. That's 1 upon 2 plus 2, which is 2.5. Definitely not a multiple of 3 or 4. When I put x as 0, 2 raised to x plus 2 will become 2 raised to 0 plus 2. That's 1 plus 2, that is 3. It is divisible by 3. When I put x as 1, I will get 2 raised to 1 plus 2 and that is nothing but 4 divisible by 4. When I put x as 2, I get 2 square plus 2, that is 4 plus 2, 6. Yes, a multiple of 3. When I put x as 3, 2 raised to 3 plus 2 is 8 plus 2, 10. Not a multiple of 3 or 4. When I put x as 4, 2 raised to 4 plus 2 is 16 plus 2, that is 18. A multiple of 3. When I put x as 5, 2 raised to 5 plus 2 is 32 plus 2, 34. Not a multiple of 3 or 4. And lastly, when I put x as 6, 2 raised to 6 plus 2 is 64 plus 2, 66. Yes, a multiple of 3. So there are exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 values of x where both the conditions are met. The answer is 5. There are 5 integral values of x which meet both these conditions. So the question reads, each of 74 students in a class studies at least one of the three subjects H, E and P. 10 students study all three subjects while 20 students study H and E but not P. Every student who studies P also studies H or E or both. If the number of students studying H equals that studying E, then the number of students studying H is. So that's all the information given to us. It's very clear that we have 74 students in the class and they all study at least one of the three subjects. So we have to basically make a level 3 Venn diagram and the subjects are H, E and P. So the circles have to be named as H, E and P. A total of 74 students are there. So the universal set is 74. As per the question, every student studies at least one. So there are zero number of people who study none of the three subjects, right? Further, 10 students study all three subjects. So in the region common between all the three circles, I write the number 10. Next, while 20 students study H and E but not P. H and E but not P is this region. So here I write the number 20. Next, every student who studies P also studies H or E or both. This tells us that there is no student who studies only P. So the region only P will be 0 in number. Let us name the remaining regions as A, B, C and D in number. We can now observe that the total number of people has to be the universal set 74. So I can write A plus D plus 20 plus 10, this entire circle actually, plus B plus C plus 0 or B plus C only, plus this 0, this entire thing should be equal to 74. This can be simplified to A plus D plus B plus C being equal to 74 minus 20 plus 10 is 30. This will be 44. Let's call this as our equation 1. Further, last line they've said number of students studying H equals the students studying E. The students studying H in number will be this entire circle again. It will be A plus D plus 20 plus 10. This is the number of students who are studying the subjects or subject H. The question says this is same as the number of students studying subject E. And this is the entire circle here E. So that is B plus C plus 20 plus 10. This is the total number of people who are studying the subject E. So 20 and 20 gets cancelled out and 10 and 10 cancels from both sides. We will get A plus D is equal to B plus C. Let's call this as equation 2. Now our next step is we substitute the value of B plus C in the first equation. Basically, the second equation we are substituting in the first. I will get A plus D plus, in place of B plus C, I can put A plus D. So A plus D plus A plus D should be equal to 44, or this gives me twice of A plus D is 44, implying that A plus D will be 44 divided by 2, 22. And finally, the question is asking the number of students studying the subject H. For that, I have to look at this circle. This circle in total will be A plus D plus 20 plus 10. But I know A plus D is 22. So this number will be 22 plus 20 plus 10 or 52. That is, total 52 people study the subject H. That is the answer to our question. 52. So the question reads, train T leaves station X for station Y at 3 p.m. Train S traveling at 3/4 of the speed of T leaves Y for X at 4 p.m. The two trains pass each other at a station Z where the distance between X and Z is 3/5 of that between X and Y. How many hours does train T take for its journey from X to Y? Good question, beautiful question, because they have asked you the time in hours for the train T to travel from X to Y. And the only information we have to calculate the hours value, the time value, is that the time gap is 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. That is 1 hour. This is the only information we have to calculate the time. Good. So let's start solving. These are the stations X and Y. We'll assume the distance between the two as, let's say, 5x. Why? Because in the latter part of the question, the second last line says that the distance between X and Z is 3/5 of the distance of X and Y. So we'll proactively assume the distance of X and Y as a multiple of 5 itself. So that eases out the calculations. Okay. Next, train T leaves station X for station Y at 3 p.m. So train T is here at 3 p.m. Okay, at the station X. Okay, and it is traveling towards Y. Okay, at 3 p.m. Further, train S traveling at 3/4 of the speed of train T leaves Y for X at 4 p.m. Okay, so 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. train T alone travels. Let us suppose that train T has reached this point, and this point I'm calling it as A. train T is right now here at this point, and that is 4 p.m., right? At 4 p.m., train S is starting from the point Y, right? And it is moving towards X, okay? And this time is also 4 p.m. They have told us that the speed of the train S is 3/4 of the speed of T. So I'm assuming the speed of the train T as 4s. Okay, you can take it as kilometers per hour or units per hour, makes no difference as such. Because 3/4 of 4s will be simply 3s only. So speed of s will be 3/4 of 4s, and that is 3s. The two trains pass each other at a station Z, where the distance between x and z is 3/5 of that distance between x and y. So these two meet at a point Z. This is the point Z where the two meet. And they have said that the distance between x and z is 3/5 of that between x and y. Okay. Now x and z, the length xz is 3/5 of the length of xy as per the question. But xy we have assumed as 5x, right, in the beginning. So xz is 3/5 of 5x, and 3/5 of 5x will imply 5 and 5 cancelling. Xz is nothing but 3x. So I can notice that this entire length is worth 3x. If the entire length of xy is 5x, the remaining part zy should be 5x minus 3x or 2x. Now, at this point of time, we know that this distance zy is actually 2x. Let us suppose this distance that the train T travels, okay, to meet the train S, this distance be equal to, let's say, A. So the time in which the train S travels 2x, the train T travels the distance A. The time is same. So time taken by train T to travel from A to Z is same as the time taken by train S to travel from Y to Z. So time is always equal to distance upon speed. So time taken by train T to travel AZ is the distance A upon its speed 4s, and the time taken by the train S to travel ZY is the distance ZY, which is 2x, upon its speed 3s. These two timings are equal, so we can equate the two. S will get cancelled out, and eventually I get the value of A. A here will be 4 2s are 8 x by 3. So this distance A to Z is actually 8x by 3. I know the entire length xz is worth 3x. Out of that, AZ we have found as 8x by 3. So this remaining length will be 3x minus 8x by 3. And that would be 3 3 is 9 minus 8 is 1. 1x by 3. 1x by 3 is the distance between x to a. Now guys, notice that if x to a the distance is 1x by 3, right, the time taken by train T to travel from x to a is 1 hour. And the question is asking how many hours does train T for x to y, right? To travel from x to y, the train T covers a distance of 5x. Let the time be equal to t. The speed of the train T in both the cases is same, right? So now there are two ways out. You can use direct proportionality. 1x by 3 corresponds to 1 hour. So 5x will correspond to how much? You can directly cross multiply to get your answer. You'll get the time taken. The time taken will be tx upon 3 is equal to 5x on cross multiplying. X gets cancelled. T is equal to 3 into 5, that is 15. 15 hours. Okay. The other way of solving this would be to make equations. So in the first case, the distance is 1x by 3 and the time is 1 hour. Speed is equal to distance 1x by 3 upon the time 1. In the second case also, the distance is 5x and the time is t. Both the speeds are equal. So equating the two, once again, x gets cancelled out. You again cross multiply and you'll be landing up with t is equal to 15 hours. That's the answer to our question. How many hours does train T take for its journey from X to Y? The answer is 15 hours. So the question reads, points E, F, G, H lie on the sides AB, BC, CD and DA respectively of a square ABCD. If EFGH is also a square whose area is 62.5% of that of ABCD and CG is longer than EB, then the ratio of length of EB to that of CG is. So the situation is exactly like the diagram is showing you. We have a square A, B, C, D, and on the sides AB, BC, CD and AD respectively, we have points EFGH. EFGH also forming a square here. This square has area 62.5% of the area of ABCD, the bigger square. And the condition is that CG is longer than EB. The whole point of giving you this data or this statement that CG is longer than EB is to tell you that the diagram is being drawn like this, the way I've drawn it here, because we had one more way of drawing the diagram like this. Okay, I'll show you in rough. This is how it was going to be, right? So in this case, EB would have been greater than CG. You can observe that in this case, EB is greater than CG. So this is not your diagram, this is the diagram, right? First things first, 62.5% as a fraction is 5 by 8. So basically, area of the square EFGH is 5 by 8 the area of the big square ABCD. Right? So many people assume the area of ABCD as x or some value or some multiple of 8 to solve the question. A much better way will be to assume the value of area of ABCD as 16, because that will help you to find the side of the square also very easily. So I'm assuming the area of square ABCD as 16. In that case, the side of the square will become root 16 and that should be equal to 4. So every side of this square is worth 4 centimeters or 4 units. Now, area of EFGH, area of the square EFGH will be 5 by 8 of 16 and 5 by 8 of 16. 5 by 8 of 16 will be 5 2s are 10. So we have found the area of EFGH as 10. That means each side of the square is basically square root of 10. We'll keep it as it is, right? So EH, EF, FG and GH, all these four are worth root 10. All are worth root 10 each, okay? Now, by the symmetry of the figure, guys, if I assume EB as, let's say, X, CF, GD and AH are also equal to X each. Also, if the entire length AB is 4, from 4 if I remove this X, I get the length of AE, right? AE will be 4 minus X. So now I want you all to focus on one right angle triangle EAH. In this right angle triangle, notice that two perpendicular sides are 4 minus X and X and the hypotenuse is root 10. So 4 minus X the whole square plus X square is root 10 the whole square. On simplification, this gives me 16 minus 8x plus x square plus x square is root 10 square, that is 10. X square plus x square becomes 2x square minus 8x as it is. 16, from that you subtract 10, you're going to get 6. So finally I get 2x square minus 8x plus 6 is 0. We have a shortcut for finding out the roots of this quadratic. We have seen in our course also. We find out two numbers whose product is 2 into 6, that is 12, and sum is minus 8. So there'll be minus 2 and minus 6. You can see it here also, 2 and 6 before your eyes. Okay, the next step is to change their signs. So you get 2 and 6. And the last step is to divide by the coefficient of x square, which is 2. 2 upon 2 will be 1 and 6 upon 2 will be 3. So I get the value of x here as either 1 or 3. If x is 1, then 4 minus x will be equal to 4 minus 1, that is 3. If x is 3, 4 minus x will be 4 minus 3, that is 1. The ratio we need is AB is to CG, which is same as the ratio of EB is to AE. And that will be x upon 4 minus x only. So my answer will be 1 is to 3 or 3 is to 1. But 1 by 3 is the only possible answer here and not 3 by 1, because in that case EB will be greater than GC or EB will be greater than AE, which is not possible as per the question. So we have only one possible answer. The ratio of EB is to CG or EB is to EA is basically 1 is to 3, our A option.
Alright, so given that x raised to 2018 into y raised to 2017 is 1 by 2 and x raised to 2016 into y raised to 2019 is equal to 8, the value of x square plus y cube is. Right, so we'll start by dividing these two equations first, right? We have x raised to 2018 multiplied by y raised to 2017 is equal to 1 by 2. We will divide this entire thing with x raised to 2016 into y raised to 2017 is equal to 8, right? So we are dividing these two equations, dividing the first equation by the second one. So if you notice, the first part of the left hand side is x raised to m divided by x raised to n will be x raised to m minus n. So x raised to 2018 minus 2016 will be x raised to 2. The next part is y raised to 2017 divided by y raised to 2019. Okay, so what we can do is we can write in the denominator y raised to 2019 minus 2017 by the law of indices. So denominator becomes y raised to 2, and the right hand side will be 1 upon 2 into 8 is 1 upon 16. Now I'll take square roots on both sides. I will get x upon y is equal to plus or minus 1 by 4. So this gives me two possibilities actually. When you cross multiply, you will get y is equal to plus 4x, or you will get y is equal to minus 4x. We'll consider both the possibilities. Now, this value of y you can substitute in any of these two equations, the first one here or the second one here. You can substitute the value of y in any of these two equations. I'm selecting the second one right now. Okay, I'm substituting y in the second equation. So y is equal to plus or minus 4x. We'll first put y is equal to 4x, and then we'll put y is equal to minus 4x to see what we are going to get. So putting y is equal to 4x in the equation, we have x raised to 2016 into, in place of y, I am putting 4x. So second part becomes 4x raised to 2019 will be equal to 8. 8 can be split as 2 raised to 3. Further, leave this x raised to 2016 as it is for time being into 4x raised to 2019 can be written as 4 raised to 2019 multiplied by x raised to 2019 will be equal to 2 raised to 3 only, right? Next step, break the 4 as 2 square. So this term becomes, this entire term would become 2 raised to 2 raised to 2019. Now this is our classic law of indices, a raised to m the whole raised to n, where the powers m and n will get multiplied. So first term is as it is, x raised to 2016 into the last term is x raised to 2019 into this term we have now got is 2 raised to 2 into 2019 will be 2 raised to 4038, and this should be equal to 2 raised to 3. Now for these two terms, I can use the first law of indices. A raised to m into a raised to n will be a raised to m plus n. So powers get added. 2016 plus 2019 will give me the sum 4035 is equal to, take the 2 raised to 4038 on the right hand side. The right hand side is 2 raised to 3 divided by 2 raised to 4038. Here again the powers get subtracted. So the right hand side is actually 2 raised to minus 4035, and the left hand side is x raised to 4035. Just last step, the right hand side we will write it as 2 raised to minus 1 raised to 4035, right? So now x raised to 4035 is same as 2 raised to minus 1 raised to 4035. Comparing these two, I will get x is 2 raised to minus 1. So here I get x is 2 raised to minus 1, that is 1 by 2. I have found the value of x is equal to 1 by 2 in the first case. So I've got x is equal to 1 by 2. This is when y is 4x. So I substitute the value of x as 1 by 2 in the equation. I get y is equal to 4 into 1 by 2, and that is 2. So in the first case, or as per the first case, x is 1 by 2 and y is equal to 2. Guys, similarly, if I substitute y is equal to minus 4x in this particular equation or this particular equation, I will get x is equal to minus 1 by 2, right? Because the minus sign will come forward towards the end also. And in that case, y will again be equal to 2 only, right? So when x is minus 1 by 2, I get the value of y as again 2, right? So the question is asking you what is the value of x square plus y cube finally. So finally, I need to figure out this value x square plus y cube. Okay, whichever of the two cases you consider, the first one or second one, the value of y is 2 in either case, right? So this part y cube will remain same in either case, and x being different in both the cases, x square will be same in both the cases, right? So x square will be either 1 by 2 square or minus 1 by 2 square. Either ways it will become 1 by 4, right? Minus 1 by 2 square or plus 1 by 2 square will end up with 1 by 4 only, right? So my final answer is 1 by 4 plus 8, and if you simplify this, this is 1 by 4 plus 32 by 4. Writing 8 as 32 by 4, you can now add the numerators. You get the final answer as 33 by 4, and that is plainly your D option. right? Simple question. The only thing is it might look lengthy because while I explained, I have like written down every step. But while you're actually solving, you need not write everything. So that's how we do it. The answer is a D option, 33 by 4. So the question reads, Raju and Lalita originally had marbles in the ratio of 4 is to 9. Then Lalita gave some of her marbles to Raju. As a result, the ratio of the number of marbles with Raju to that with Lalita became 5 is to 6. What fraction of her original number of marbles was given by Lalita to Raju? So originally Raju and Lalita had marbles in the ratio 4 is to 9. So let's suppose the common multiple was x. 4x is the number of marbles with Raju and 9x is the number of marbles with Lalita. Then Lalita gave some of her marbles to Raju. Let us suppose Lalita is giving away k number of marbles to Raju. So Lalita will now have 9x minus k number of marbles and Raju will get k number of marbles. So Raju now has 4x plus k number of marbles. As a result, this ratio of number of marbles with Raju to Lalita now becomes 5 is to 6. So basically 4x plus k, okay, we have 4x plus k divided by 9x minus k. The new ratio is 5 upon 6. Right? So what fraction of her original number of marbles was given by Lalita to Raju? Lalita gave away k number of marbles out of original number of marbles 9x. So I want to find the value of k upon 9x in the question. My final target here is to get the value of k by 9x. Let's solve this particular equation by cross multiplying. We'll get k in terms of x, which we'll substitute in this equation to get our answer. Okay. So 6 4s are 24 into x plus 6 into k is 6k is 5 9s are 45, 45x minus 5k, right? Adding 5k to both sides, I will have 24x plus 6 plus 5, 11k is equal to 45x minus 5k plus 5k will become 0. Next step, I'll subtract 24x from both sides. Left hand side becomes 11k. Right hand side becomes 45x minus 24x. So here I get 11k is 21x or k is simply 21x by 11. This value of k we substitute in the expression k by 9x to get our answer. We have got k as 21x by 11 and this is getting divided by 9x. Okay, so x will get cancelled out and 3 and 3 gets cancelled out. 7 remains here, 3 remains. The answer to our question is 7 upon 3 into 11, 33. 7 by 33. Lalita has given away 7 by 33rd of her total number of marbles to Raju. Well, this is one way to answer our question. There is a very quick and amazing shortcut for all these question types, which I have discussed in my course. You can check out the link in the description for the same. Alright guys, so let's start solving. If log of 5 plus log a to the base 3, the whole thing to the base 2 is worth 3, and log of 4a plus 12 plus log b to the base 2, this whole thing to the base 5 is equal to 3, then a plus b is equal to. Alright, so let's call this 5 plus log of a to the base 3 as x. So the first equation resembles log of x to the base 2 is equal to 3. If log of x to the base 2 is 3, this is our logs form. We can convert this into indices form. X will be equal to 2 raised to 3. And this gives me x is equal to 2 raised to 3 is 8. Next step is we resubstitute the value of x as 5 plus log of 8 to the base 3, which we have found as 8. Subtracting 5 from both sides, I get log of 8 to the base 3 is 8 minus 5 will be equal to 3. If log of 8 to the base 3 is worth 3, this is same as a being equal to 3 raised to 3. The base 3 raised to the right hand side power 3. That finally gives me a is equal to 27. This is the first part of the answer. We need the value of a. We have found a as 27. The next step here is we find the value of b. For that, let's call this entire thing 4a plus 12 plus log of b to the base 2 as y. So the second equation tells me log of y to the base 5
is equal to 3. Writing the same thing in the indices form, I'm going to get y is equal to 5 raised to 3. 5 raised to 3 is nothing but 125. And now I resubstitute the value of y here as 4a plus 12 plus log of b to the base 2. Now, first things first, let's substitute the value of a that we have already got in this equation. We put a as 27. So now the left hand side becomes 4 into 27, that is 108 plus 12 plus log of b to the base 2 is equal to 125. Now 108 plus 12 is nothing but 120. So 120 plus log of b to the base 2 is equal to 125. Subtracting 120 from both sides, I will get log of b to the base 2 is equal to 125 minus 120 will be 5. Finally, converting this into the indices form, 2 raised to 5, b will be equal to 2 raised to 5, or this finally gives me b is equal to 32. Guys, we are almost there. The question demands the value of a plus b. A we have figured out as 27 and b we have figured out as 32. A plus b is 27 plus 32 and that is 59. Very clearly the answer is our option B, 59. Right, so humans and robots can perform a job but at different efficiencies. 15 humans and 5 robots working together take 30 days to finish the job, whereas 5 humans and 15 robots working together take 60 days to finish it. How many days will 15 humans working together without any robot take to finish it? Alright, so we start the question by assuming that the efficiency of every human is h units of work per day. Okay, for every human, the efficiency we are assuming is h units per day. And for every robot, let's assume the efficiency as r units per day. So as per the question, 15 humans and 5 robots working together. Okay, 15 humans means 15h. This is the work done by 15 humans in one day and 5 robots. Okay, 5 robots. Each robot does r units of work per day. So 5 robots will do 5 into r. The total work done by 15 humans and 5 robots is 15h plus 5r. This is the work done by 15 humans and 5 robots per day. And like that, they take 30 days to finish the job. So total work done by 15 humans and 5 robots in 30 days is 15 into h plus 5 into r multiplied by 30. Similarly, in the next case, 5 humans and 15 robots work for 60 days. Every human does h units per day. So 5 humans will do 5 into h per day. And every robot does r units of work every day. So like that, 15 robots will do 15 into r units per day. And together they take 60 days to finish the job. So together they complete 5h plus 15 r units of work daily. And like that they work for 60 days. 5h plus 15 r multiplied by 60 is the total work done. Now we observe the fact that in both the cases the work done is absolutely same. So we equate these two units of work and we'll get the ratio of h and r in the process. So let's cancel out 30 and 30. 15h plus 5r is equal to, this will be twice of 5h plus 15r. We can again cancel out a 5 throughout. So here I will get 3, here I will get 1, here I will get 1 and here I will get 3. So 3h plus 1r will be equal to 2h plus 2 3s are 6r. Subtracting 2h from both sides and also r from both sides, I will get 1h is equal to 5r. That gives me the efficiency of humans upon robots is 5:1, or h by r is basically 5:1. Now, for all practical purposes, to solve this question further, let's suppose h is 5 and r is 1. The first step is we substitute these values of h and r in either this part of the expression or this part to get the work done. For simplicity, I'm selecting this part now. The total work is 5 into h. So in place of h, I will put the value 5. 5 into 5 plus 15 into r. In place of r, I'm going to put the value 1. So 5 into 5 plus 15 into 1 into 60. This is the total work done by 5 humans and 15 robots in 60 days. So this will become 5 5s are 25 plus 15, 40 multiplied by 60. This is the total work done. Let's leave it as it is, will help us in the calculations. The final part of the question is, in how many days will 15 humans working together without any robot take to finish it? So the efficiency of each human is 5 units per day. So the efficiency of 15 humans will be 15 into 5. We just need to divide this total work 40 into 60 with the total efficiency of 15 humans 15 into 5. We cancel out 15 ones are and 15 fours are 60 and 5 ones are and 5 eights are 40. 8 into 4 is simply 32. Time taken by 15 humans alone without any robot to finish the work is 32 days, and very clearly it is our B option, right? Very straightforward question. This is exactly how we solve it. The answer is option B, 32 days.
Right. So in a parallelogram ABCD of area 72 square centimeters, sides CD and AD have lengths 9 and 16 centimeters respectively. Let P be a point on CD such that AP is perpendicular to CD. Then the area in square centimeter of triangle APD is. So this is our parallelogram ABCD. Notice that AD is 16 and CD is 9. So if I drop a perpendicular from A on CD, it won't directly fall on CD, right? So CD has to be extended outside and then we can drop a perpendicular from A on CD. So it'll be something like this. Further, the area in square centimeters of triangle APD is, so we want the area of this triangle APD, this one here. Now, since it's a right angle triangle, I would require the length of PD and the length of AP to be able to get my answer. And that's the whole point. I need to find the lengths of AP and PD, and then I can use half into product of the perpendicular sides to get the area of right angle triangle APD. So let's start, guys. We have been given the area of parallelogram ABCD as 72. Now the area of any parallelogram will be base into height, right? And this has been given to us as 72 square centimeters, right? The base can be any side of the parallelogram and the height will be the perpendicular drawn on that side from the opposite vertex. So in this case, we will treat the height as AP and the base is the side CD on which it is getting drawn, right? So CD into AP will be 72. You might as well drop a perpendicular from D on BC or from B on DC and use the same logic. Here I have to use the area to my advantage. So I'm using the fact that the base CD into the height AP is 72. So CD has been given as 9 into AP is AP. The area is 72. From here, I can get the length of AP as 72 upon 9, that is 8 centimeters. So we have found the length of one perpendicular side AP out of the two perpendicular sides of the triangle APD. Very nice. Now we can apply the Pythagoras theorem in the triangle APD and figure out the length of PD. PD will be equal to square root of 16 square minus 8 square. That is root of 256 minus 64 or root of 192. Now 192 can be further split as 64 into 3. So technically this part becomes 8 root 3. The length of PD is actually 8 root 3. Done. We have found the length of two perpendicular sides of the right angle triangle and the area will be half into product of those two perpendicular sides. So half into 8 into 8 root 3 is our answer. 2 and 2 cancels, I get 4. 4 8s are 32 root 3. My final answer is 32 root 3, the area of the triangle APD. This is our C option.
Hi, don't forget to check out my course for the quant section of the CAT exam, where I've explained all concepts, tips and tricks, shortcuts, and past year questions in great detail. So in a circle, two parallel chords on the same side of a diameter have lengths 4 and 6 centimeters. If the distance between these chords is 1 centimeter, then the radius of the circle in centimeters is. So we have these two chords, 4 centimeters and 6 centimeters. They lie on the same side of the diameter. If the distance between these two chords is 1 centimeters, then the radius of the circle is. The first step is, from the center of circle, I'll drop a perpendicular on the outer chord. Now guys, since these two chords are parallel, then the perpendicular itself becomes a transversal, and along the transversal the corresponding angles are always equal. So the perpendicular I draw on the outer chord is by default a perpendicular on the inner chord as well. So this is the common perpendicular on both the chords. Now we know that perpendicular from center to the chord always bisects it. So the outer chord gets bisected into two parts
2 centimeters and 2 centimeters each. And also the inner chord gets bisected into two parts, 3 centimeters each. Let us draw the radius for the inner circle. Let's call it as capital R. Now let's call the center as O and the inner chord as AB. The outer chord, let's call it as CD, and these points be X and Y. I'm assuming the length of OY is H. OY is also the distance of the inner chord from the center of circle. In triangle BOY, I can write the Pythagoras theorem. I can say H square plus 3 square should be equal to R square. Similarly, if I join the line OC, guys, OC is also the radius of circle R centimeters. Now in triangle OCX also I can write the Pythagoras theorem. I know the distance XY has been given in the question as 1 centimeters. So OX entirely becomes H plus 1. This entire length OX becomes H plus 1. So in triangle OCX I can write H plus 1 the whole square plus 2 square should be equal to R square. The next step, we equate these two. The first and second equations we equate. Since the right hand side is R square in both cases, we can directly equate the left hand sides. H square plus 3 square is 9 will be H plus 1 square plus 2 square is 4. So H square plus 9 will be equal to H plus 1 square is H square plus 2H plus 1 plus 4 is as it is. Cancelling out H square from both sides, I'm left with 9 is 2H plus 1 plus 4 is 5. If 2H plus 5 is 9, I can say 4 is equal to 2H, subtracting 5 from both sides. That gives me 2H is equal to 4, or H is simply equal to 2. Now, this value of H you can substitute in any of these two original equations, the first or second one. The first one looks slightly simpler to me. So we'll substitute the value of H in the first equation. We will get 2 square plus 3 square is equal to R square. 2 square is 4 and 3 square is 9. 4 plus 9 is R square. That implies 13 is R square. Taking square roots, R is equal to root 13. And that is why the answer to our question will be option A. A tank is fitted with pipes, some filling and the rest draining it. All filling pipes fill at the same rate and all draining pipes at the same rate. The empty tank gets completely filled in 6 hours when 6 filling and 5 draining pipes are on. But this time becomes 60 hours when 5 filling and 6 draining pipes are on. In how many hours will the empty tank get completely filled when 1 draining and 2 filling pipes are on? So we have already solved a similar question, and I'm surprised to see a similar question in the same slot in the CAT exam. So you can check out the link in the description for this particular question as well. So let's start solving the question. We'll assume the efficiency of each filling pipe as F units per hour and each draining pipe as D units per hour. From the first condition, 6 filling pipes and 5 draining pipes can completely fill the tank in 6 hours. The efficiency of each filling pipe is F. So 6 filling pipes will be 6 into F. Similarly, for each draining pipe, the efficiency is D. For 5 draining pipes, the efficiency will be 5D. But since the draining pipes are going to empty the tank, the combined efficiency of 6 filling and 5 draining pipes will be 6F minus 5D. And at this rate, they are going to work for 6 hours. The work done is combined efficiency into the time 6. So the total capacity of the tank is actually 6F minus 5D into 6. Similarly, it takes 60 hours when 5 filling and 6 draining pipes are on. 5 filling pipes will work at the rate of 5F and 6 draining pipes will work at the rate of 6D. Their combined efficiency is 5F minus 6D, and like this they'll work for 60 hours, so into 60. Now both these expressions represent the same thing, that is the capacity of the tank. So we equate these two. So I'll equate these two and eventually I'll get the ratio of the efficiencies of the filling and the draining pipes. So we can cancel out 6 from both sides. I will get 6F minus 5D will be equal to 5F minus 6D into 6 gets cancelled. I'll have 10 remaining. Further, 6F minus 5D will be equal to multiplying 10 inside. So 10 5s are 50F minus 10 6s are 60D. Let's bring 6F here on the right hand side. 50 minus 6F will be 44F And let's get minus 60D on the left hand side. 60 minus 5 is 55D. So that gives me D by F is equal to 44 upon 55. And between these two, I can cancel out 11. I'll get 4 by 5. So the efficiency of each draining pipe can be taken as 4 units per hour, and each filling pipe can be taken as 5 units per hour. So just like in the humans and robot question we have seen in this slot earlier, we substitute the value of D as 4 and F as 5 in any of these two given expressions, either in this or in this. For simplicity, I will select this expression. The total work done I will get is 6 into F, meaning 6 into 5 minus 5 into D. D is basically 4 into 6. This is your total work done. So 6 5s are 30 minus 5 4s are 20. 30 minus 20 multiplied by 6. This is your total work done. This will become 10 into 6. 10 into 6 is basically 60 units. So the total work to be done is basically 60 units. Now, as per the question, this 60 units have to be completed by 1 draining and 2 filling pipes, right? How much time will it take when you use 1 draining and 2 filling pipes? That's the question. Let's find out the efficiency of 1 draining and 2 filling pipes. 2 filling plus 1 draining. The combined efficiency will be 2 into 5 minus 1 into 4. So 2 5s are 10 minus 1 into 4 will be 6. 60 units is the target work to be done, which will be done at the rate of 6 units per hour. So the time taken will be 60 divided by 6 or 10 hours, right? So the time taken by 2 filling pipes and 1 drain pipe to fill the tank completely is 10 hours. That's the answer to our question. Pretty simple. It is exactly similar to the human and robots question as you've seen previously. The approach is also exactly the same. Answer is 10 hours. All right. If among 200 students, 105 like pizza and 135 like burger, then the number of students who like only burger can possibly be. Interesting question, a very easy one. So it's a typical level 2 Venn diagram based question. I have a set of 200 people. Let's call that as our universal set. Out of that, 105 people like pizza and 134 people like burger. And there'll be some people who would be liking both. Let that number be equal to X. Also, there would be some people who would like neither of the two. Let's call that number as Y. Alright, so we are interested in the people who like only burger, right? There are 134 people who like burger. Out of that, X people like both pizza and burger. So 134 minus X is the number of people who like only burger. Notice that this entire circle for pizza is worth 105. Okay, that includes the ones who like pizza and burger both. To that, if I add 134 minus X, I will get the number of people who liked either pizza or burger, right? So the number of people who like either pizza or burger would become 105 plus 134 minus X. You can also obtain this result by using the fact that it's either A or B, or A union B in this case. The people who like pizza or burger will be the people who like pizza plus the ones who like burger minus the people who like both. You'll get the same result here. To this, if I add the ones who like neither of the two, I will have the universal set 200, right? So people who like pizza plus the ones who like only burger plus the people who like none should be equal to 200. So from here, I get an equation. 105 plus 134 will be 239 minus X plus Y is equal to 200. 200 here and the variables on the other side will give me X minus Y is equal to 200. 39 minus 200 is 39 only. So finally, I'm left with the equation X minus Y is 39. Now X minus Y equals 39 is basically a linear equation having two variables, X and Y. So these are special equations and we have already seen in our course how to deal with these particular cases. We start by taking the minimum value possible for Y being a number, an integer rather, should be equal to 0. Right? Number of people is never negative. So minimum value Y can take is 0. In that case, X will take the value 39. Now, the next value Y can take will be 1. To maintain the difference 39, X will be 40. The next integral value Y can take is 2. To maintain the difference 39, X will be 41. And now this will keep on going forward. The max value X can take here will be 105. Since there are only 105 people who like pizza, the maximum common you can take is only 105. So when X is 105, in that case, we'll have some value of Y. You can calculate it. Actually, it's not required, but you can just figure it out. It'll be 66 in this case. 105 minus 66 shall give you 39. So let's look at the minimum and maximum possible value of x here. X can be minimum 39 here in this case, and x can be maximum 105 in this case. But in our question, we are interested in the number of people who like only burger, 134 minus x. So 134 minus x will be minimum when x is maximum. X is maximum, that is 105. If I put x as 105 here, 134 minus 105 is 29. So the minimum number of people who like only burger is 29. Similarly, if I want to find out the maximum number of people who like only burger, I need to put the minimum value of x. The minimum value of x we have found is 39. 134 minus 39, that will be equal to 95 in this case. So the maximum number of people who like only burger is 95. That means my answer should lie between 29 and 95. The only answer option in this range is the D option, 93. And that's the answer to my question. The number of people who like only burger can possibly be 93. Well, there is another quick shortcut to solve this question. I have explained the same in my course. You can check out the link in the description for the same. Right, so the question reads, if f of x is equal to minimum of 2x square comma 52 minus 5x, where x is any positive real number, then the maximum possible value of f of x is. Type in the answer question. So we'll start by drawing our Cartesian coordinate system. The question says f of x is minimum of 2x square and 52 minus 5x. Let's consider two graphs. The first one being y is equal to 2x square and the second graph being a straight line y is equal to 52 minus 5x. We notice that the two graphs intersect at some point given here, and since this point is visibly in the first quadrant, x is definitely a positive real number. Now notice f of x is the minimum of these two graphs, meaning at any value of x, whichever graph has a smaller y coordinate is the value of f of x at that point. As an example, when x is 0, we have the origin. At that point, y is equal to 2x square will be 2 into 0 square or 0, whereas y is equal to 52 minus 5 into 0 will be 52. Between 52 and 0, 0 is lesser. So f of x at x equal to 0 is defined by this point 0. You will notice that before this meeting point to the left, y is equal to 2x square is always smaller than 52 minus 5x. So for all the points to the left of the meeting point, we will refer the graph of y is equal to 2x square for f of x. Similarly, y is equal to 2x square will go above 52 minus 5x if you go beyond the meeting point. So beyond this meeting point to the right, 52 minus 5x will have a lesser value as compared to 2x square. So in this case, 52 minus 5x is the value of f of x. So now we can conclude that f of x is nothing but this particular graph. I am highlighting this in green. This is your graph of f of x, the minimum of these two, as highlighted here in this particular case. But our question wants the maximum possible value of f of x. We can very clearly see here that f of x is maximum at this peak where the two graphs intersect. So basically I am looking forward to the intersecting point of these two graphs. The first graph is y is equal to 2x square and the second graph is y is equal to 52 minus 5x. This meeting point is our point of maximum as required. Guys, this meeting point has some coordinates, let's say x comma y. These coordinates x comma y are present, or this point is present on both the graphs y is equal to 2x square and y is equal to 52 minus 5x, right? So the next step is, let us equate the y coordinates of both these graphs. So we'll equate the value of y for both the equations. Basically, we are equating 2x square with 52 minus 5x. So the first step is to equate 2x square and 52 minus 5x. On simplification, this becomes a quadratic, 2x square plus 5x minus 52. I want two numbers whose product is 2 into 52 minus 104 and the sum should be 5. Some knowledge of tables will tell you the numbers are plus 13 and minus 8. So I can break 5x as 13x minus 8x, right? So the quadratic now becomes 2x square plus 13x minus 8x minus 52 is 0. This simplifies to 2x plus 13 into x minus 4 is 0, or x is minus 13 by 2 or x is equal to 4. But minus 13 by 2 is minus 6.5, a negative number. The question says x is a positive real number in this case. So we ignore minus 13 by 2 and we only want one value of x here, that is x is equal to 4. We have very simply found out the
x coordinate of the point of intersection of these two graphs. Now we want to find out the y coordinate. Very simply, the x coordinate 4 will satisfy both the equations 2x square and 52 minus 5x. Or the x coordinate 5 is a part of both the graphs y is equal to 2x square and y is equal to 52 minus 5x. So now our next step is to substitute x is equal to 4 in any of these two expressions. Y is equal to 2x square and y is equal to 52 minus 5x. Any of these two will get the value of y, or f of x as required is 32, the answer to our question. You can find 2 into 4 square, 2 into 16, 32, or 52 minus 5, 4, 20 as 32. So the maximum possible value of fx, that is y, is 32. So in an apartment complex, the number of people aged 51 years and above is 30. And there are at most 39 people whose ages are below 51 years. The average age of all the people in the apartment complex is 38 years. What is the largest possible average age in years of the people whose ages are below 51 years? So we have two groups here. The ages of people in the first group are greater than or equal to 51 years, and the number of people in this group will be 30. Similarly, the second group has average age less than 51 years, and this group has at most 39 people. So the number of people is less than or equal to 39. The overall average of these two groups combined has been given to us as 38 years. And the question is about finding out the largest possible average age of the second group. What can be the largest possible average age of people in the second group, that is less than 51 years age group? So first things first, if the average is 38 and that is fixed, and I want to maximize the average of this particular group, then the average of the first group has to be as low as possible. Only then I'll be able to maximize the average of second group. The first group has average age greater than or equal to 51 years. We have to minimize this, so the minimum it can take is 51 years. Right? Now let us suppose that there are n number of people in the second group and their overall average is equal to a. You can use your concept of weighted average or the concept of deviations to find out an equation in a and n. Let's look at the concept of deviations. 51 minus 38, there is an excess of 13, and like that I have 30 people. Similarly, to compensate, this group should have a deficit about the average, 38 minus a, and like that you have n number of people. So the overall excess about the average should be equal to the overall deficit about the average, and they have to be the same to maintain the average 38. This is the concept of deviations we have seen. If you don't understand this concept of deviations, you can still use the concept of weighted average here. We'll say 51 into 30 plus a into n divided by total number of people is 30 plus n should give you the average 38. So you can just cross multiply now. 51 into 30 plus a into n is 38 into 30 plus 38 into n, right? Take all the like terms together. 38 into 30 you can take on that side, and a into n you can take on the right hand side. So left hand side becomes 51 into 30 minus 38 into 30 will be equal to, right hand side will be 38 into n minus a into n, right? So left hand side is 51 minus 38, 13 into 30 is equal to, right hand side you can take n common, 38 minus a, you get the exact same relation but thoda complicatedly, right? So a better way is to go with the concept of deviations actually, and this will give me 13 into 30 upon n is equal to 38 minus a on this side, the remaining terms on right hand side. I'll get a is equal to 38 minus 13 into 30 upon n, and we want this a to be as high as possible, largest possible value. Now notice this a will be as high as possible when this minus part will be as low as possible, right? 38 minus something, the minus wala part should be as low as possible. That will happen when n will be as high as possible. And as per the question, the second group has n number of people, we have assumed. N is a number which has to be as high as possible in this case. The question says there are at most 39 people in this group. So n can be at max 39. We put n as 39 in this particular equation and we observe the value of a. That will be our answer. So we will observe that a will be equal to, 13 ones are and 13 threes are cancelled. 3 ones are and 3 tens are 38 minus 10 or 28. That is very clearly our D option